All right, everybody. We are about to give some knowledge, and I'm gonna tell you why. And on the phone, I got my dude Harry Oda Van Dizzle, one of the best producers I've met in my life. And you guys are gonna hear a conversation that I'm having with him because this is what I believe. I believe that sometimes we lose faith in the goal. You feel me, Harry? This is what we lose. We lose faith in the goal. Problems are going to always come. Problems are consistent. The one thing that will always be there is a problem, but there's always something that comes with the problem, a solution. Every time that's real. That is real. No matter how we look at it, that's the reality of what we go through every single day. Every single day. When we go to work, we bust our hump. Sometimes we feel value, sometimes we don't feel value. Sometimes we want to go back to work because we had an amazing day and we like the people we work with. And then some days we just can't stand that place. We can't stand the people. We can't stand none of that. But the one thing that remains consistent is us having the ability to change how that day will be. Because if you don't work for the dollar and you work for value, you will gain more. Because when you have value, more things are open up to you to give you that dollar. That's like networking. If you go in with a positive attitude, you could close a deal. See, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. And absolutely. But here's the crazy thing. Sometimes we forget that we are not the only ones struggling. Sometimes we forget that there's someone doing a lot worse than what we're doing. But when we look in the mirror, all we see is the problems that we have and we compound it. That's what we do. It's facts. There's no way to get around those facts. People fail to realize that the dollar is only a dollar because we put value in the dollar. Now imagine if we put value in each other. In each other. If we put value in each other, we become worth more than the dollar. But we haven't done that yet because we're chasing the dollar. That is true. The world does not work that way. It's not supposed to work that way, but the reality is it is ran that way. See, that's, because the reality is this, you lose one job, what do? Sometimes we forget, right? But how, even to go get another one, what do we go through? We go through a lot of trials, tribulations, headaches, right? We go through arguing with our girls or arguing with our family or arguing with our friends or a lot of other stuff. That's what we do, right? And we compound the problem. We forget that for every problem, there's a solution. We forget that every problem, there's a solution.
But if you focus too much on the hurdle, you forget about the finish line. You end up failing before you even get there. So, we always see the obstacles versus the big picture.
That's true. That's true. So then that goes back to exactly what I was telling you. If you forget the big picture and if you forget that you have more value than a dollar, you eliminate a lot of the problems. A lot of the headaches, a lot of the hurt, a lot of the confusion, a lot of the not knowing, a lot of the pain goes away. You could have a bad day at work. That could happen, right? But guess what? If you remember that you have value and you remember what your worth is, you will strive harder and have more success and open more doors than you ever could imagine. No matter what, no matter how you look at it. Because here's another thing that's out there that we forget. We forget that there is an abundance of knowledge. There is knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Right? But knowing that, how much of that knowledge can net you the dollars that you're trying to gain?
Wow.
Right? Because
that's what most people we're taught to use our knowledge to help us, to gain in life, to accomplish things, but some of us are stupid and we don't use the knowledge we have. Some of us are taught very, very well and still choose to make the wrong decisions.
See, but the only thing that I would change in that statement is the word stupid. Because humans, we're far from stupid. We blind ourselves and we utilize ignorance. Because you have to have some type of intelligence to know that you have to pay your bills, that you have to support your family, how you want to raise your kid. People fail to realize that. Do you know how much of your mind it takes to drive a car? There's a lot going on when you drive a car. You have to pay attention to everything going around you. You have to know how to manipulate the pedals. You have to know how to speed up and slow down and be aware. There's a lot going on when you get behind the wheel. So that means that as a species, we are highly intelligent. But it means on a lower level, we utilize ignorance as a reason to blind us from going out and searching the whole world for the information we need to gain value. Remember when you was a kid and your mom would be like, "Boy, are you dumb or something?" Your parents, I never knew what that meant. I highly never knew what that meant. I always thought that it meant something totally different, right? Then I grew up. When I grew up, I realized this. That was my parents' way of letting me know that I had intelligence and that I was the creator of my destiny and of my value. It wasn't my mom or my dad trying to put me down. It was them trying to awaken me to the fact that I was using ignorance over knowledge, over value. Something so simple. Sometimes it doesn't hit you until you're older, but it's always been there. It's like changing a tire. You know how many people do not know how to change a tire?
Millions.
Absolutely. And do you know why that is? It's not because they can't do it, but it's because they utilize ignorance to not do it.
Right.
Right?
Well, I don't know, so I'll let somebody else do it. Why not take the time to learn? Then you don't have to stay out of it.
Right, but it's the way we live. It's us putting value in other things and other people than in ourself. When you go and make a sale, that sale, you know what makes a sale? It's not even the product at times. It's the confidence that a person exudes when presenting the product. Prime example, if a person comes to a car lot, guess what? A salesman doesn't have to make a sale. I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people out there might say that makes no sense. Let me tell you why. If a person goes to a car lot, they already want to buy a car. The sale is done. All you have to do is two things: show them value and lead them in the direction that they are comfortable with. That's it. Because a person will tell you what they want. It's like making a beat.
Exactly.
It's like making a beat. When you make a beat, you listen to the person. You know, hey, what kind of beat do you like? You know, and they'll tell you, I like this, I like that. So you break it down. You figure out the beat per minute. You figure out what kind of drum lines they like. They may even give you a sample song that they really love. And you may know the producer that made that beat. So you know what type of beats that producer makes. And as another producer, you can emulate that because you went and you gained the knowledge on how to do that.
Right.
Simple. But how many times do we forget that simplicity?
I think it's just being lazy.
Right. Lazy. Let me tell you the definition of lazy. Laziness, not willing to work or exert oneself, not rigorous, strict, or disciplined in habit. That's laziness.
Wow.
Right? So,
Exactly. In a nutshell.
right? Not rigorous, strict, or disciplined in habit. The key word is disciplined. That's the key word. That goes with anything, endeavors, that goes with business deals, that goes with relationships. You have to be disciplined. You can't lose sight of the goal. You cannot give up thinking that because something didn't happen today, that it won't happen at all.
Right. Well, people don't, but then that's, being patient, and letting things work how they're supposed to work. Sometimes if you try to rush a situation or rush something, it doesn't go as planned.
Mm-hmm. Right. So with that being said, my question for you then would be this. Why let the world get you down when you're the creator of your own destiny? Feelings, everyone's entitled to feel, right? A person can come up, they can call you names, they can call your mama names. Those words only have meaning and value if you let them have meaning and value. Because, see,
Right.
the words don't really mean nothing unless a person puts action, i.e., hits you, beats you, robs you, right? Then those words become something more. But until that action happens, those words are exactly what they are. They're words. Because I'm going to tell you like this. A person could put a dictionary in front of me right now, and that dictionary is not going to kick my ass. Because those words, they don't mean nothing. That book does not mean nothing sitting there. It only means something when it hits me. When that book hits me, okay, now we got a problem. But then that means that someone was behind that. People, like I said before, the dollar. A dollar is printed on paper that is created by man that is giving a value. We as a people put value in that dollar. And because it's happened for so long, now we need that dollar. Some people do, but then there's those at homestead. There's those that go in the wilderness and they live their life. They barter, right? They create other forms of stuff with value. Funny how that works, right? So
when you got resources, having resources is even better than having money.
True. But remember,
which ups your value.
Right, but remember, in order for that resource to have value, you have to see that you have value enough to make that have value. It all begins and ends with you. No matter what, the path begins and ends with you. It's like someone going, Man, I tried and I failed. No, no, you didn't. You only failed if you stop. You only fail if you stop trying to achieve what you're trying to achieve. That to me, that's just my opinion, is failure.
Right.
Okay? Because one, nothing really happens overnight. And two, if I know that I have enough value and enough worth, that means I can accomplish a lot of things. Growing up, no one thought that I would be part of a movie, making a movie. Done that. No one thought that I'd be part of the Hollywood scene. Done that. No one thought that I would have an album out. Done that. No one thought that I would have a music video out. Done that. No one thought that I would have the educational knowledge to go and create a beat or learn how to make a beat. Done that. Because I feel that I have value and worth. I feel that I'm worth what I put out there. And I feel that what I put out there will have worth and value.
But but in order to sell yourself and sell your value, you have to make other people believe the way you believe that, okay, you are valuable.
Okay.
You know?
Hold on, real quick. Check this out. I'm gonna hit you with this. A man cannot truly make another man believe. The only way a man can believe is if he chooses to believe in what's being put in front of him. Because then, and only then, does he put value in what is being presented. That means that he will take that and utilize that. Once again, it begins and ends with you. Because check this out. A man in the forest goes and hikes, right? Builds a life out there, meets him a girl, they go out there, they build a life, right? Because remember, it's been done before. That's nothing new.
Right.
Survival is instinctual in us. No matter who you are, survival is instinctual. If you put your hand over the flame, you more than likely will pull your hand away because it hurts. You're surviving. So, you don't need $1 million to live a life.
No.
It's been proven. So that means that every single thing around us is
$1 million would make life a whole lot easier.
well, let me tell you something that I've learned. I've been doing a lot of education and stuff like that, and over the research that I've been learning and being pulled in. Do you know that if you had $1 million and you got $1 million and you quit working, do you know that before you died you would be out of money?
No, not if you weren't trying to live.
No. Hold on. Let's say that you have it's you, your wife, and your kid. Okay, you just had a kid. You got $1 million. Okay, now mind you, it's you, your wife, and your kid. For 18 years, you're gonna have to take care of you, your wife, your kid, and you're in the same house. You know what I mean? You're in the same neighborhood, and let's say that you pay a mortgage, and your mortgage is something, and you end up paying. Let's say that all in all, every month, your bills total does not go over $4,000. Do you know that you will maybe make it to see 50 years of that money before you have to get back into the workforce? That's if you're lucky. You will not ever fully make $1 million stretch because you have to have more. Or you have to take,
If you're leaving that $1 million in the bank.
No, but remind you.
You're just paying simple bills.
But you got to remember.
That $1 million collects a lot of interest in them, so they sending you money every month.
Now remember, we're talking about, here's the thing. If a bank crashes, right? Even though certain banks are covered by the federal government, if a bank crashes, or let's say your dollar loses value, because remember, the price of a dollar or the value of a dollar fluctuates. The stock market has shown that. So that's something that you have to remember. If you have $1 million, let's not talk about the bank, because even if you let's say you put it in the bank, and let's say your $1 million netted you 50,000. Hypothetically, this isn't accurate math. I'm just throwing numbers out there. If you, let's say it nets you $50,000 in interest a year, okay? I guarantee you that within 25 years, you will be back in the workforce working again. 3 people in a household, because there's things that we never account for. One of the biggest hitters in the world is medical bills. A medical bill and a medical procedure can wipe you out. If someone in your family gets sick and you cannot say that they won't get sick, it just depends on the severity of that sickness. If they end up in the hospital and you're paying those medical bills, your $1 million will disappear quickly. In order to be,
You know, of course.
now, but now listen to this though. Now, if your goal in your dreams, in your thought process is that you're going to make $10 million, now you become comfortable. Do you know a lot of millionaires aren't even comfortable at $1 million? And I'm going to tell you why. If they get into one legal bout, just their legal fees alone could potentially bankrupt them.
Yep.
So $1 million over your lifetime, you have made over $1 million. Weird how that works, right? I can sit here and go, Harry, you were a millionaire. Doesn't seem like it, but I can say that. Funny how that works, right?
No, because through the course of my life, I know I've spent more than $1 million.
Right. But now think about that. So that right there shows you that $1 million can go quickly. You have just proved exactly what I said. You are not even at the end of your life. You have been a millionaire, have touched $1 million, right?
Yeah, but it's not all one lump sum.
No, it doesn't. Now think of it this way. Imagine if you invested a lot of that money, right? Or you were taught and educated on how to properly invest your money. If you got that knowledge, then it would be a different conversation. That's the key. The key is about finding that value, investing in that value, creating more value so that you can add value to what you already have. That's the key. That's why you have to change the way that you're thinking. That's why you have to realize that you can and will have the success that you want, that it's within your grasp. That's the key. So whenever you have a bad day, you have to remember that you are worth more than $1 million. Because if you live in $1 million mindset, then that's the only potential that you will allow yourself to reach. And sometimes we as people, especially when we struggle, we live in $1 million mindset. Man, if I just had $1 million, life would be easy. Life would be easy. You know what would happen when you hit $1 million? Your tax bracket changes, all the stuff that you always wanted. Sometimes people just go and get it. So now you're back to right where you were at, trying to maintain that $1 million lifestyle. Because you had $1 million mindset.
Right.
Those are facts. Because people that go and homestead and stuff like that, guess what? They're not living by the dollar. They're living by creating value within themselves, which makes them invaluable. And I ask everyone this question. How is it that a person can go and homestead, right, and live a better life than half of these people that are millionaires? How is that?
Because It's a mindset. That's why.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's what we as a team have to do. We have to change the mindset. We have to change the mindset. You have to change your mindset.
Man.
See, all the answers are already within you. They're within all of us. Sometimes the door has to be open and you have to see for yourself that you have value.
Right.
Change your mindset.
You're absolutely correct.
See? Gotta change your mindset.
And that's basically what I had to do when I first came out here to Utah back in October last year to be with my daughter.
Yeah.
I was doing bad, and I just know that I had to hurry up and do something and change my mindset so that I could get out of the stupor that I was in. And I was like, man, I got to change the way I'm thinking. And in 30-something days, I have my own place, a car, and a good job. But that's because I changed my mindset.
Right. And you know what else you did? You told yourself, without even realizing it, that you have value.
Yes. Absolutely.
So then my question to you is this. Why aren't you using that every single day? Why are you cheating yourself every single day? Why are you dwelling a lot of times, and I do this too sometimes, on the problem instead of realizing that you have the key to all of the solutions?
Because
now, it's not going to be easy.
Humans, we naturally do that because, like I said, when you're going through the storm, it's hard to tell yourself, okay, it's just a storm, it's just a lot of wind, water, lightning, and thundering. It's normal. Don't panic. You'll get through it. The storm will eventually be over. It's hard to tell yourself that when you're hearing that crashing from the thunder and you're seeing lightning strike everywhere the fuck around you, and it's raining, catching fog so hard that you can't even see 2 inches in front of you, and the fucking rain hurt because the water drops are so big, and you think the world is about to fucking end and it's over and this storm is so bad. But you know, you have a sense to tell yourself that the storm is going to eventually be over, but it's hard to tell yourself that when you're actually going through it.
True. Now check this out. Now I'm about to hit you with something prolific, I believe. How many times have you personally given someone advice when they went through the same thing? How many times, right?
I can't even count.
So that's my key. That's the thing. You already know how to combat it. The knowledge is there. Because when you gave that advice at that moment in time, you fully realized that you had value. And when you realized that, you were able to take that value and give it to someone else to help them realize that they too have value.
Absolutely correct.
See?
Man.
Makes you sit back and go, oh shit, huh?
Yep.
You've already been combating for other people what you should be combating with yourself.
Yeah. So, it's like when you tell the motherfucker, yeah, you got some good ass advice. How come you're not following it?
Absolutely. Right? That's true. That's true. You're like, damn, man. And you know what? A real motherfucker be like, you know what? It's easier for some people be like, hey, it's easier for me to help others than it is for me to help myself.
Right?
There you have it.
Well, I have this thing, you know, because sometimes people don't want to take your advice if they see that you're not following your own advice.
True, but
You know, so, nigga, how the fuck you gonna tell me I'm doing bad and to do this, that, and the other when your ass is in the same boat?
okay.
Okay.
But now,
That being said, I look at it like this. If I've been smoking cigarettes for 30 years and I go to the hospital and the doctor tells me, okay, Harry, it's so bad that even if you smoke another cigarette, you might not live. So I suggest you put the cigarette down now and not touch them ever again because it's literally that bad.
okay.
You got this, that, and the other going on. So now the doctor has completely warned me. And even one more cigarette could take me out. Not a pack, not a few, just even one. All of a sudden, I go outside, get in my car, and I see this motherfucker doctor sitting in the car, blowing like a motherfucker. He got like 2 packs of cigarettes sitting on the dash, and he just blowing away. This, that, and the other. So now, why would I be stupid and be like, nigga, you got me fucked up. You sitting up there telling me I can't smoke, but you in your car and you blowing worse than me.
Okay. Watch this
Now,
though.
that would be stupid of me to take that or to continue in that situation because first of all, he's a doctor. He has told me. So basically what I said that to say this is if a person has really good advice for me and I see that their advice to potentially put me in the right direction or make me successful or whatever, why should I give a fuck if they follow it themselves or not?
That's exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say this.
Like even a minister. I could have just came out of a titty bar, sitting next to this man, and we both putting money in the fucking G-strings on the titty bar. We making it rain, we drinking, we smoking, and then all of a sudden I get a notion a couple weeks later to go to church, and that same man that I was sitting next to was up on the pulpit preaching. He's telling me that if I don't turn my life over to the Lord Jesus Christ and do the right thing, that I'm going to go to hell.
But remember,
now, me knowing the Bible, I know that that is true.
yeah, but
So
so
whether he's following it himself or not, I still need to take that into an account and do it for myself, regardless if he's doing it for himself. Because when it's all said and done, if the Bible really is true, when I die, I'm going to be standing in front of God, and he's going to ask me what I did with my life or if I accepted the Son to be able to go to heaven.
but let's bring it back around.
So I'm just saying that if a person got really good advice for me, whether they're following it or not, maybe I need to take heed.
Well, once again, I wouldn't call it taking heed. Remember, you got to realize that if you inside feel that whatever they're telling you will work, that's you putting value in you. No one can put value in you like you can. No one. A person can come and tell you you're the best 20, 50 million times over. That don't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything. The only time that any of that will... Huh? We're losing Harry right now. But hey, Harry.
Come to me. You got %. So if you hear advice from somebody if it's good advice that can help you move along and for yourself as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But you got to remember, and I'll end this with this right here. In order for advice to ever mean anything to anyone, you have to truly look inside yourself and see, one, if you can utilize it, two, if you have enough value in yourself to make that work, and three, if you want to implement something different in your life than what you've already been utilizing. If you can go and you can find all of that within what's being sent to you, and you see that you have value, then you will have the ability to make a change that you didn't realize that you could make in the future.
Man.
And with that being said, Harry, I love you. I got to get some rest. To all my people out there, I hope that you guys shared this YouTube right here, because I believe that someone will need to hear this, because they may not be feeling that they have value. There might be someone out there that lost their job, a family member, they probably was abused and feel like they have no value. They might be in a rough situation, especially with this pandemic going on, and they may not be feeling value. But I guarantee you that if you feel value in yourself, you will then have the ability to help others feel value within themselves, which will give you the ability to change not just one person, but the world. And if you do not believe me, try it. That's my challenge. Try it. Change your mindset, find some value, and truly remember that you are worth it. I'm AWOL the General. You have value. I have value. I love you guys. Have a good one.